How's it going, Sha?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm excited. This is the week that we find out what high school my kid gets into.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about it because the
Yeah.
way New York does high schools, I don't understand it. I don't
Yo,
understand why all the there's so much. It's so much. So
yo.
so do you at any point before we get into your particular thing, do you at any point have the option to just send your child to the high school that's closest to you?
Yes, kinda. Like if there's like one generic high school that's like every neighborhood has,
Right.
um, they're not typically the best school.
Right.
But yeah, like if I was like and it's I still wouldn't necessarily be like, that's where my kid's going. I'd have to like put it on the list.
Mm.
So like it's not even like a guaranteed seat 100%, but like
Mm.
if I didn't fill out anything and then I showed up to the DOE and I was like, hey, like I was a shitty parent and I didn't apply to any schools last year and I legally have to send my kid to school, I think they would make him go to that school. But
Okay.
yeah, like it also wouldn't
What
be like he got a seat for sure. It's weird.
wait,
Um,
so if you and your child decide to not apply to any of the other high schools,
yeah.
and there is a generic high school in your neighborhood, it's not a guarantee they could get into that generic high
Yeah,
school?
like because there's like almost every school has like a certain amount of seats. So like there's
Is
like my
this?
neighborhood has like 4 high schools that are like nearish by. One of
Okay.
them has like a program that some people are interested in.
Mhm.
Um, but the other ones have like priorities for different reasons, right? Like maybe this one's closer to the train or closer to your house or whatever. So like the high school that would distance wise be the best for me would probably be the most popular of the four. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if like Aiden didn't apply, that he technically wouldn't get in to the local high school.
Mm.
Um, and he would go to a local school, but it wouldn't be the one that geographically makes sense.
Man, have y'all heard of zoning? I mean,
Yo, we only do
it's
that for
so
elementary.
that's wild.
Yeah. I
That's
do I do that I understood though, because you like in New York, you can't predict where you're gonna have the space to put a school and how the real estate is gonna affect it. Cause like we're both, let's say, 10 blocks away from our schools, but
mhm,
you live in Queens where let's say you someone lives in Queens where everything is like one family houses and like Fresh Meadows. I live in East New York where everything is buildings with 20 families.
right,
So that one building 10 blocks away ain't gonna serve enough
right,
seats. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So like geographically, we're both trying to travel the same distance, but like it just wouldn't math. So like they gotta put these like other little hub schools nearby, and like it creates weird situations like that where like the closest school is technically a block away, but that school only sits 100 people. So we put the 100 kids studying math there. And then like we got another school that's part of the generic school. Technically, it's not as close as that one. So your kid goes to this one that's 20 blocks away or whatever. It's still close, you know.
mm,
So like it's an odd situation. And then you throw in the fact that like because they have all these specialized programs, you got kids that like are trying to go to a specific school, and then um some of the good stuff they're trying to do also complicates it. Then they'll be like, well, we're trying to prioritize kids with these grades, or we're trying to prioritize kids with from this neighborhood, or we're trying to prioritize kids from these backgrounds. We're trying to prioritize kids with disabilities. All different schools have different things like that because they were created for a different reason. So like my son had like a 90 average. He's Latino from Brooklyn. So like
mhm,
the peak school that he wanted to go to was an engineering school for Latinos in Manhattan.
right,
And that school had an elementary school. So they prioritized local kids who went to the elementary school.
mhm,
Then Latino kids from their neighborhood with 90 and up from the neighborhood that weren't from the school, and then they took minorities from other neighborhoods, and
Okay.
then everybody. So
Okay.
like my kid was like layer 3, and then like you look at the year before, the school had 300 kids, 75 incoming freshmen, and it says some wild shit like 68 of them came from the elementary school. So like
Right.
there's 7 seats
Right.
for like New York. Like, like so
Mhm.
like I was like, yo, like I talked to my son, I was like, yo, like I'm gonna apply because you just your dream school, cool. But like I'm gonna be real. Like, I love you. You're not top 7 Spanish kid in the city. Like you know what I mean? You cool. Like I fuck with you. I think you top half, might
Right.
even be top third.
Mhm.
But like top 7, period, that's wild work, my G. Like I believe in you in general, but like let's be realistic here,
I
homie. Like
believe in you in general. Oh, wow.
that
Okay.
is that is wild, like homie. So like you and like as a parent, like you're trying to balance all of those things because you only got 12 spots. So like I'm trying to put in schools that like if he got into would give him a rewarding educational experience with um those last 3 seats. I'm trying to like optimize like what's a good safety school that I know he'll get into and it's still better than the local whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like it's like there's like a lot of game theory almost going on.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it sounds extremely intense,
yo,
slightly insane. Um, I was just like, I've watched various people go through this process, and I'm like, and then take tours, like
yeah,
going to, yeah, well, we gotta look at 2 other schools to see how they feel about that, and, well, their friend got into this one, but they got into these 2, but they think they may wanna go to this one because that's where the friend is, but that I'm just like, maybe we're giving the kids too much autonomy. Like, maybe
you going where we send you.
yeah, you go where we like, yeah, you know, that just, uh, yeah, that just seems wild, very intense and wild.
Yeah, it's
So how,
stressful.
yeah, how that turned out for,
I still don't know. I find out tomorrow afternoon.
mhm.
They're like they like sent out some like freaking uh Hunger Games like message. They were like, tomorrow's the day where your kid's future is decided. Let's be happy. Like I was like, this is a real confusing message, but okay. Uh but yeah, like they fully said that the announcement will be sent by email after school hours, so they don't want any of that
No,
energy in the
so we don't
building.
want no smoke. Don't call us for nothing.
Straight up, I like that's all y'all. I like okay, respect that, dodge that bullet.
Mhm.
And yeah, we gonna find out. And like my family's all 4 grandparents call me regularly this week. Like, yo, what's up? Y'all got the updates? I'm like, nah. Be like, you haven't had a kid this age in years. Like, why are you stressing us? You know what I mean? And like, but we all know, I think I mentioned this on the pod once. The 3 science schools that like there's 7 of them now, but the 3 OG ones
Mhm.
in New York, Stuyvesant, Bronx School of Science, and Brooklyn Tech.
Right.
There are 400 total New York City public schools for high school.
Okay.
Those 3 schools send 1/3 of the public high school kids in New York that
Mhm.
get into an Ivy League school.
Oh, okay.
So like every kid in New York that goes to a public school, let's say 100 of them get in to Ivy League schools, 33 of them come from 3 high schools. So
Gotcha.
like to give you like perspective of how like stressed a parent is, it's like you hear a number like that and you're like, fuck, that significantly changes my kid's future.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's wild to know. Like, yo, if your kid goes to number 4, like you know what I mean? Like that drop off is crazy. You know what I mean? And that shit is wild to like just have that on you, you
Right.
know? And then like you gotta like, you're balancing this with like teenager energy of like they're both different people. My daughter was like she's like super into this. she took charge of the whole situation. She's a social butterfly. She's like, I want to go to a big school that does art. My son is like a bit more like, yo, I don't really like fuck with people. He's like, what's the school with the least people? I want to go there. Like he's trying to find a school with 4 people. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's like, I showed him schools that was good. He's like, nah, he's like, my school got, he's like, all of his complaints to school, by the way, is like his other classmates annoying him. He's like, this dude was talking too loud at my table. I hate that. He's like, I want less of that. So
Oh,
like
wow.
it's such a different approach. So like I'm balancing like his personality type and what he wants from learning with all of this shit, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then also like his like general disposition of like cool. Like my daughter is like she stressed this in a way that like while I didn't think was healthy, I understood.
Right.
Like, oh, this is high stakes. This matters. Aiden
Mhm.
is very chill. He's like, yeah, man, whatever happens, happens. Um, you know, so like every school I recommended, he was like, that sounds cool. You know,
Mm.
yeah, all right, dad. And like, I'm over here, I'm like, this is your future. You know, what are you talking about? That sounds fine. That's not all 12 schools can't be fine, you know?
Right.
And so like uh I didn't feel like I had an outlet for it.
Right.
Michaela like definitely channels that.
Mhm.
She's like, yeah, nah, she took charge and like he's different. But I have to respect that that might be how he's trying to like handle it. That's how his process is of like, this might be a big deal, but I need to be level-headed about it. And I'm trying to respect that. He processes these things differently from me. But
Right.
all of that on top of yes, it is a big decision for me. Um,
So
has been
then
on my mind for like months.
did you guys do tours and everything? Like
Yeah, we did tours, we talked to teachers, checked out programs. We did we did mock train trips because that was the other thing. Like this is the first time he has to commute. Like he
right.
walks now, you
Right.
know, so like Michaela does great with the train, but she like had like a little like scary moment that first week, you know what I mean? Called us from
Mhm.
school. She's like, I
Right.
got lost. She's like, I went back, you know what I mean? And Aiden, you know what I mean? And that's the kid that I trust.
Right.
Aiden out here on the trains, like I am waiting for the phone call where that dude's like, "Yo, I'm in the Bronx. I heard they got pizza out here, and like you got to pick me up." Like just his like it'll make sense in an Eden way, but like
Right.
he's just gonna hit me up with the most random shit, and it's gonna be like 7 o'clock, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't know, like someone mentioned like this, and like now I'm here. I went to go see
Mhm.
it, and I lost track of time."
Okay.
Like, and I know that's going, so I'm trying to minimize that. Like, I was like, what are the best schools that are like 6 blocks away? There's not a lot of options, you know?
Right, right.
So yeah, that was also scary. But yeah, like so yeah, we did all of that. The trips, the visits, the talking with teachers. We even spoke to a couple of like former students and current students.
Sure.
None of it felt like it helped. It
Oh,
just
wow.
added stress.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Man. That's
But
insane.
it's over this week, is what I'm saying. I think that's how I feel more than anything. Like I'm glad it's finite now. Like there will be
So
a
this will be
school.
for both kids? You'll find out for both kids where they're going?
Just him. She's in a school. She did we did this last year with her.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
she's in a school now that like she took charge in like finding it was of her 12 schools, this was her top choice.
Oh, great.
So I was very like proud of her. She got into technically her second choice because she applied to 2 programs in the same school.
Okay.
She got into her second choice, and then like someone dropped out and was able to transfer into the top choice that she wanted.
Okay.
Um, so we got everything we wanted out of it. Commute is relatively like reasonable.
Mhm.
Um, and like I know where it is. I'm nearby that building often, so like I felt good about the whole thing. But yeah, Aiden gave me very little to work with. He more so gave me a vibe, you know.
I'm just planning my future on vibe. You know what? I actually shouldn't laugh. That is literally how I live my life. I don't know
Real
why I'm
talk.
laughing at the young man. I literally came out here just like I moved to a new state at 40, like, well, let's just see what comedy's like here. What the fuck? Come on.
Yo, and that's what I'm saying. Like I've met like I'm that's one of the reasons I'm thankful for being a stand-up. Cause like I've met people like
Mhm.
that. And like if I did it, I swear, like I don't know if I could have handled Aiden without before this. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that would have like hurt like it still stressed me, but like I always like go and like yo, hold on, like he's just a different dude. This is his personality. His
Mhm.
grades are dope. His teachers love him. He does well, but his approach to doing well is so different from mine. You know
Right.
what I mean? And like I gotta respect it. He's still giving me the results I'm asking for. So
Mhm.
when he answers me like that, like I look at Gabby like, yo, you hearing this shit? Like through my eyes, I'll be like, like, yo, what the you heard it, right? Like, I don't even have convos with him by myself anymore. Like, I have her in the area just like as a witness. Cause
Right.
like I know my story sounded crazy when I told her later. I was like, I told him we gonna pick the school of his future. And he was like, cool. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean, cool? So I was like, nah, we having all these talks in the living room where like if I'm sounding crazy, I need you to like jump in.
Right, right.
And if you hear the nonsense that I've been hearing, I just want to vent about it later,
Mhm.
you know, and know that I'm not like wild for thinking that's different. And like she's like, okay, honey, you know.
Okay, dear.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, like I am excited about it, but I'm also just happy that there's a finite answer. So we can like plan for what's best for him and his needs, and um, hopefully it's a school that like works out for him. That's really it. Like even with all the research, I still don't know if it's the right school. You
Right,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're just kind of hoping, like I'm sending one of the two most important people in my life to this place and
Right.
hoping they don't fuck them up. But
So
like
what happens if at the end of a school year he wants to switch to another school?
yeah, that's the other thing. So like there's transferring options possible after a year. But
Okay.
this year that kid goes there.
Gotcha.
Um yeah, like if your kid is only way that I've understood that your kid can like transfer is move or kicked out during the first year. Like
Jesus,
period.
okay.
And
Alright.
in neither case do you get an optimal school. Like if
Mhm.
you move to another borough, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. That commute is no longer reasonable. You're not
Mm.
getting the peak school that's near you now. You're just getting a reasonable school nearby you. And also, if you get kicked out, there's like shittier and shittier schools that your kid can go to that's always available. But
Right.
that first year, you're expected to go there, and then if you don't like it, you can like kind of do a similar process again next year. But it's more competitive because essentially it's all the kids that were like um last year's process, they
Right.
understood it and now they understand it and got better grades in order to go to the school they wish they had gone to. So like
Right.
the standard is higher to transfer. So like
Okay.
if they took a kid with a 90, now they're taking a kid with a 95.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a tougher thing, it's stressful. Um
Oh, I have
uh,
one more question about high schools, and then I swear I'm gonna drop it. I'm just truly trying to understand what the city is doing. But do you have in your time of going to school here, the high school here, do you have something okay, where I went to high school in DeKalb County in, part of Atlanta, Georgia, they had what was called open campus, where once you hit, like, 16, you could go to open campus, take the classes necessary for you to, like, get a GED, um, and then just be out.
oh,
You could finish school early, or if for some reason you couldn't go to I think it was 16. 16, yeah, 16, 11th grade, somewhere in there. Um, or if you had to leave school for a while to come back, you could go to open campus to, like, get your diploma or GED. I think you could get, like, not just GED, just, like, actual just basic high school diploma
yeah,
so that you could get out early if you needed to work or anything like that. Um, or, there was summer school and you could take classes during summer school, which normally people took classes at summer school that they failed during the normal school year, and
right,
then they made it up in summer school, but because whatever you do in summer school can be applied to your credits, you could go ahead and take stuff in the summertime to free up stuff, free that
right.
up when you're in during the school year or get out early, another way of just getting out early. Was there any place like that, anything like that in New York City high schools?
Yeah, I believe there is. I went to private school for my high school, so
Mhm.
we didn't have that. But
Hmm.
I my understanding is that there is, and I only know this because of Michaela,
Hmm.
because she showed me like a video of some like kid that like he's like 19 and he like graduated like Harvard with an MBA,
Mhm.
and and he's like a New York kid, and he explains that like he just kept testing out his shit.
Oh,
So
okay.
like he like found like classes that he could take in the summer were shorter but covered the material, so he would do that if they wouldn't let him test out. And then like during the school year he would study like a ton of classes worth of stuff instead of like doing a hobby, because he
Mhm.
was like, this was my fun thing. So he was like, I would just keep reading the next class, go to the office in the city, say, hey, I want to test out of this, and he would just
Oh,
keep
okay.
testing out of classes.
Okay, that's a smart person. What about the one what about the kids
The rest
where
of us, yo.
Harvard, yeah, is not in their future? I'm thinking of the people I knew who went to open campus who were just like, "Yo, I'm out." People
That's
who
real.
used to be with me during lunch break throwing fruit into the traffic in front of the school.
Oh yeah.
Those folk, like,
They
who were
deserve to graduate too. Hell
yeah,
yeah.
who were literally just like, maybe they're going to college, maybe they're just going to work. And it's
Yeah.
not like there were like trade school stuff and blah, blah. But I mean, like, just like, hey, I'm just trying to get this high school diploma shit so
Done
I
so I
can
can work.
go to community college or I can go whatever. Like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah, it's real.
yeah. Are there schools for people who are just like, this is bullshit, I'm done. Like, let me just get this so I can get this.
Yeah,
Because
I
without
believe
this,
there
I
are.
can't go.
I
So,
would assume
okay.
so, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I went to prep school, so like
Oh, right, right, right.
everybody was going to college. Like it just was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
my the failing grade in my school was a 75. Like
Okay.
anyone below, like you had a 74, you had to repeat the class in the summer.
Ugh,
So it was like
boy.
it was a whole different approach to school. But yeah, no, I have to assume that is because like I know when I worked at UPS, there was a kid that was 17
Mhm.
that worked there, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I got my high school from another place. Like
Right.
I left the school, I finished it, but he kept stressing that it wasn't a GED. He was like, because I still did it during before the age, so they wouldn't let me do the
Right, yes.
GED.
Because I feel like GEDs are for people who are older than
Yeah, he
they've
said it
aged
was like,
out of high school, but
yeah,
this is like you are still a young person, but
yeah,
you don't wanna go to your high school or be bused to another one because they were still busing folks when I was in high school. We had a whole
ATL.
thing called M to M. I mean, they were busing in Boston until kinda recently, but, like, M to M, majority to no, yeah, majority to minority. So,
Okay.
if you were in a black neighborhood, you could get bused to a school in the white neighborhood and vice versa, and I mostly saw it where it was black kids being bused to a white school. We just happened to live in a neighborhood of the white school, but there was a white kid in my school who got bused to a black school, and that's because he was a really good football player, and I was like, "Hey, man, work the system, my
Real
man, work
talk.
the system." So, yeah, but you were just like, "I'm done with this, but I'm 16. Let me just go on
Yeah,
and get my I'm gonna go to open campus." And
yeah.
I just thought those people were the freest people in the world. I mean, yes,
Real talk.
they also probably set things on fire, but they're the freest people in the world because 'cause they're like, this is bullshit. Let me just get what I need to get and then go out here and get a job fucking bartending or
Yo,
waiting tables or whatever."
dude,
Build
that kid, I'm telling you, I had this kid that he was 17 years old. I was a supervisor while we were loading trucks at UPS.
Mhm.
And his answers were so I remember at the time wondering, I'm like, man, I'm worried about you. He might have been the smartest kid out of all of us, yo. He was
Right.
like, I asked him, I was like, yo, like, why'd you do that? He's like, I don't fuck with books. He's like,
Hey, you know
and
what?
he's
Know
like,
yourself. That's what I thought. I was
yeah,
like, "These kids know themselves,"
yeah.
and they're
He
like,
was
"Let's
just
just
so
keep it
like, he's like,
moving."
I don't fuck with books. He's like, I got cousins, they do all that. That's great. He's like, I don't fuck with books. He's like, I'm in good shape. I want a good job. I come here, it's union. I get a pension after 30 years.
Come on.
I was
What
like, yo,
17-year-old is thinking like
straight
that?
up. Like, he was talking
Beautiful.
pension at 17. You know what I mean? Like, I remember at the time, like, because I was like a senior in college.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like the part-time supervisor of the loaders. And I was like, man, yo, like, and I was like, I would go home concerned, like, man, I hope he figures it out. That dude figured it out
Look at that.
before me.
Yeah, he figured
He
it
had the
out,
game on smash. That dude, low key, might be retired now. Like, he's
right?
retiring. You know what I mean? He's getting to that age already.
Oh,
That dude is
wow.
advising people, yo. That's who
Oh,
y'all need to
man.
be sending. So many, I got a lot of teacher friends. They like hit me up. They're like, yo, you're a comedian. You should come in for career day. Get that guy. That's who needs to
Right?
goes in for career day. Yo,
Yes.
that dude was awesome.
Oh,
Real talk.
man.
Yo, Calvin, I highly doubt you listening to this, yo. But real talk, you made such an impression on me as a dude, yo. Somebody ever bump into Calvin Murphy? Real talk, so dope.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, sincerely, this wasn't what the episode was supposed to be. But Sha,
Right.
thank you for
Oh, no
letting me vent.
problem. I absolutely, because I'm fascinated by the process, because it seems like such a process, and
Yeah.
it's nice knowing that there is some sort of rhyme or reason, because I was just like, so all of the schools are just like, you apply to anything and you can be in Lower Brooklyn and send your kid up to a
If he
fucking
gets in, yeah. And like
yeah.
it does like warn you, like so like during the application, like when I finished it, I had like my kid has good grades. So like I
Mhm.
I was more aggressive in the options I picked. And
Right.
before I hit submit, it literally warned me like, hey, of your 12 schools, like 8 of them were schools that admitted under this percent of kids.
Mm.
Are you still trying to do the submission like that? And like I know the school both years, and Michaela went to a different junior high. Both junior high schools, because they're teaching the whole group, not just one kid. In
Right.
every assembly meeting, they would be like, pick realistic schools. Like, yo, they, they
Don't
kept
bullshit yourself.
so they were so stressed at that point. And like Michaela would come home and like she was like, should I apply to this? I'm like, honey, like, like your grades are good enough that this ain't gonna be an issue. Like you're fine.
Right.
Um, but like I respect that they're saying that because like this is a chance to start over and not every kid like got that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also other kids have different needs.
Mhm.
Like you're in a different spot. That's a blessing. It's beautiful that you're gonna have a different set of options. But those kids deserve options too. But they
Right.
need to know their options are different options. You know
Right.
what I mean? And like that, you got to start having those discussions with people. Um, yeah, I gotta tell you, I thank you for like because like sincerely, I haven't thought about Calvin in years. That shit, I've been so stressed about Aiden and like just thinking that there's a Calvin out there.
Yeah.
That shit just brought me so much peace. Like,
Yeah.
yo, real
Well,
talk, like that. I that dude, like, it blew my mind, and I was like, yo, like, I remember like just going home stressed about it, talking to my boys, like, yo, but it was because I was only around other 22-year-olds finishing college.
right.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm like in my head, I'm like, this is the path, and like,
Mhm.
it's not the only way. A, B, I promise you that dude's pension, body's mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
That dude's at UPS. He is chilling. Uh, Low key making 150 racks a year right now, probably driving trucks in
Right.
the best shape of his life. I'm over here doing insulin needles. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He gets a full workout every day. You
Right.
know what I mean? We're both wearing the same clothes. I'm doing it by choice. They give him his. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, Calvin, you figured out the game, my G. I'm
Yeah,
proud of you, yo.
absolutely.
Real
Absolutely.
talk.
I
This
just
wasn't what we were supposed to do. But
no.
if
I'll
you would
always
like,
I'll always speak up for the people who are a little off the beaten path with that. So,
yeah,
I was
because
just
low key, that should be the path.
I know, yeah,
That's the
like
thing. Like I feel like am I bugging on like this? I feel like every adult at some point in their life figures out how certain jobs work. And then whenever the deadline for that job is approaching, they have like a little panic. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no way you could convince 17-year-old me to sign up for the Army, Navy, whatever.
Right.
But like when I was like 29 and like, I'm like, it's my last chance to like lock in a job that I'm done in 20 years.
Right.
Huh. Yeah, I gave that heavy thought, yo. I saw, yo, I like fire department ain't that bad. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, I go
Right.
save some
Yeah.
people for 20 years and
No,
I get a pension
absolutely.
forever. Dude, those deadlines, like they weighed on me. 25, 29, because the cutoffs is different for them. But like
Mhm.
that email start going around your friends, yo, the test is out. You know what I mean? You should take the exam. You know what I mean? Yo,
Yeah.
sanitation hiring. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Real
Absolutely.
talk. It goes. It's a reminder of what like simplicity, hard work, but like a straightforward path. And I
Right.
want to stress, simple, not easy. Like it's a simple
Right.
path. You know what you're gonna do, but you are gonna earn everything. But
Mhm.
there is like a peace of mind that comes with that. That like I have not shared. I am envious of.
Yes.
That shit
Yeah.
is fire. Like I'm over here figuring out life every day. Them dudes is like, nope, I'm done in 2024. That's my last year. I got so many friends retired already from jobs, and that shit hurts every day. Every day, dude. I see them dudes.
Oh, wow.
Yo, and also we got at some point, we won't do this today, but at some point we got to talk about how much this country hides segregation around like cute names. Like that M to M shit is like so catchy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh
Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, majority
absolutely.
of them, no, yo, that's kind of fire, but like,
Yeah. No,
it's
I'm a M to M. Oh, you're an M to M student. Okay. And, they had a cute little logo and little buses and all this shit. And then I was like, "Oh, wait, you live where?" And
yeah,
you gotta get up at what time of and there's only one bus that comes through, and if you have extracurriculars, it'll come through again you don't get home till 8, like, all that was all wild to me, but then my sister ended up going to a magnet school, like a performing arts high school.
yeah,
So, that luckily was in a part of town that we were familiar with, so it wasn't too far, but
right,
that meant she had friends that were out in the cut, out in East Jabip, as, the country folks say,
okay.
and it's like, "Oh, you gotta be friends with someone who's on that county line? Golly." You know what I mean? Like, y'all gotta meet in the middle. So, not me, I just went to whatever high school I was zoned for. So, yeah, there were
Oh man,
no dreams on my end. She was the one with dreams. I was just like, "What time does the bus come? I'll be there," you know?
send me there, baby.
Yeah.
If you would like to support Shalewa and I's dream of not having dreams,
Man, it would be so much easier if we didn't.
woo, oh man, all you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You think everybody should have dreams? That's too much work. It's stressful.
Mm,
Don't be
mm-mm.
like us.
No, don't do that.
It's nothing but pain. Okay.
Yes.
5 stars. You see the vision. Dream of no dreams. You know, real talk. The much less known Martin Luther King speech. Okay. Oh man, the happiness, the joy that would come from dreaming of no dreams.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Soki Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to FCDLJ, The Realist 23, Cynthia Butler, and Lori McDaniel. I apologize for ignoring all of your
All of
articles.
them. We'll
All of
get
them.
to them.
My bad.
We'll
We'll
get
get
to
them.
Yeah, sorry.
Shot got me motivated on a tangent. My bad. But yeah, I clearly needed this.
Yeah, you did. You did. You absolutely did.
I did. This has been 6 months of me not being able to say all of this to Aiden's face. So
Oh, man.
thank you, all of you, for dealing with this and not like just having this be a weird therapy session for Aiden in 20 years.
We're
He
rooting
just
for
kept
you,
stressing
Aiden.
out his schools.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. We are rooting for you.
Oh man. With all that said, this has been an educational episode on education. Catch y'all next time. Peace.